The story, chapter 14, a kingdom torn in two. So the Lord said to Solomon, "You have chosen not to keep my covenant. You have decided not to obey my rules. I commanded you to do what I told you, but you did not do it. So you can be absolutely sure I will tear the kingdom away from you. I will give it to one of your officials." 1 Kings chapter 11, verse 11. The wisest man on earth wasn't always wise. As King Solomon grew older, he began to make many bad choices. He married many women, and those women worshiped idols. Instead of leading people to love God, Solomon let some of his wives talk him into worshiping their idols. After Solomon's rule ended, the peace and prosperity of the nation ended too. A dark time began in Israel's history. People fought over who would be king. The kingdom divided, and a long string of evil kings began to rule the nations. Occasionally, a good king would come to the throne and call the people back to God. Good kings, bad kings. God was very disappointed with Solomon. "Since you have disobeyed me and worshipped other gods, I will tear the kingdom away from you," God told the king. God was angry with Solomon. The people of Israel were angry too. For years, Solomon had demanded huge taxes from them. This made the people poor, and many of them had turned away from God in discouragement, worshiping false gods instead. Just as God promised, God split the great kingdom of Israel into two nations, Israel and Judah. For the next 350 years, God's chosen people did not follow God's rules for holy living. Most of the time, they were led by evil kings who worshiped idols instead of the one true God. One good king of Judah, King Asa, tried hard to bring the people back to worshiping God. Asa got rid of the false idols. He brought gold and silver to the temple to show respect and honor to God. Just as Asa tried to do good, King Ahab of Israel seemed determined to do the most evil. He and his wife Jezebel encouraged the people to worship the false idol Baal. Their actions were more evil than all the other bad kings combined. It was a sad time for the nation that had been led by so many faithful kings.